What's going on? What's going on? It's Johnny TCG back with another video. Today I've got some EBO1 games for you with Starter Deck 10 Red Purple Luffy, one of my favorite leaders in the game. 6,000 power, it's a great time. 3 lives, not a great time, but overall I do enjoy his ability and the synergy between red and purple in this deck. Uh, the big thing with this deck is trying to ramp and play your big bodies as soon as possible. So ideally, we're going turn 1 Nami, maybe finding a Zoro Joro if you don't have one, play him turn 2, turn 3, swing with him, play out Miss All Sunday, and we're just keeping up the ramp until we can play our big bodies. We do run 2 of the 10 cost Gear 5 Luffys in this deck. I have been playing a lot of games in OPO7 without the Gear 5, and I do have to say it's interesting, and sometimes it doesn't feel too bad not playing any. But right now I am running 2 in the deck, and we'll see in the games how useful I find it. That's enough of the deck breakdown. Let's get into some gameplay. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. First up, we got a game against Enel, one of my least favorite leaders to play against. So I'm not feeling great about this game. I do have a good turn to play with Zoro Joro, so I will definitely throw that out. They're going to swing 6 at me with Banish. I'm going to use the 2K here. I don't have a lot of life cards as it is. To not be able to use that as a resource and so early feels bad, so that's why I end up countering out of it. Maybe I should have used Queen. Let me know what you think in the comments below about that decision. I swing 7 and they get the Shirahoshi trigger. Splendid. Enel's full of triggers, and I just play out Zoro Joro and pass. Now I am in range of a Gidatsu, so that was a little bit silly of me. They just play the 5 cost, 7,000 power Rush Ace, but they are at 3 lives, so they can't rush with it. That is absolutely great for me. No pressure on my life at all. I'm definitely cool with them doing that. I debate between Miss All Sunday and Queen. I'm going to go Miss All Sunday because this will put me at 8 Dawn, and I can ramp to 9. And now, next turn, I will be able to play down Gear 5 Luffy already, which is pretty crazy. I only swing for 6 because it's not super important to me that I really got life right there. They still got a ton of cards in hand. They're in no danger. And I keep the 2 Dawn up. I could hypothetically use Thunder Bagua. I could use Radical Beam, but I'll just take the card from life. Maybe now I'll use it. I don't want to take two life cards this turn. And I'm going to go Nami and Queen. I want to save those counters for later on. I especially want to save that Thunder Bagua or Bagua. I'll just say Bagua for now. I want to save that for when I'm re-ramping after I just used Gear 5 Luffy. So there we go. Turn 4, being able to play that already is huge. Using leader ability and Gear 5 Luffy ability, I'm back to 2 Dawn, and now I'm going to swing 7 at the Ace, I think. I'm just trying to get counter out of hand. That Ace will die next turn anyway when I swing with Monkey D. Luffy, the character. And I'm really happy with my hand right now in the position I'm in. I have a Shanks, I have Eustace Captain Kidd 7-drop, which is a card I love. I'm debating on how I want to order this. I am going to go 8 first with my leader. I really hope this hits, because as you'll see, I'm not going to swing with Gear 5 Luffy, because I'm worried about the Kingdom Come, that I'll just be able to pop it right away. And so I'm going to wait a little bit to swing with it when I really feel like I'm in a better position and I have more of a board developed. I use Thunder Bagua. I think it's Bagua. Let me know in the chat if you know. And I get to ramp it down, and I'm already back at 9 Dawn this turn. That is absolutely insane. I'm gonna play out the useless Captain Kid, I think. This will bring me up to a 7,000 power leader. They are at 3 life right now with the Katakuri on board. I will be able to pop that next turn with the Shanks, which is huge. Now that I have another big body on board, maybe I'm a little bit more comfortable swinging with the Gear 5 Luffy. I play out the Nami, I get a Radical Beam, that's great. And I decide I'm still not going to swing with that Gear 5 Luffy. They have no way to get rid of it, and I'm just terrified of the Kingdom Come, the new EBO1 event, and so I'm just not going to swing with it. Let me know if you think this is a mistake. I think this was kind of big-brained, but I'm definitely down to hear your thoughts. Hypothetically, they could play another Katakuri here and put that Nami onto the top of their life, and that would be rough. Not that I have anything big, nothing important for them to KO, but just going up to 4 life. That would not be fun for me to deal with. They actually do have a Katakuri, and they do exactly that, so that is not ideal. I'm just going to go Shanks here, get rid of the Katakuri. I know technically the reason I didn't do that first is the reason I did that in that order is because I wanted to use Arrested Dawn for Kid's effect so that I could re-ramp it on and have it active for Radical Beam. My hit with lead. They take my leader attack. They take the Useless Captain Kid attack. And now I'm going to swing with 12 with Gear 5 Luffy. I'm at the point where if they use a Kingdom Come on it, oh well, I still have the Kid and the Shanks. They're going to go 7-drop Charlotte Linlin. I'm going to trash the top card of my life. I really want to go for game next turn. Really want to push it. A Yamato in that situation would have been great for them. The 7-drop Big Mom is definitely not the most ideal play. I assume they did that because they had no other choice. I'm able to counter out of that swing, and then I'm going to take the 1 at life. 6 cards in hand. I'm wondering how I want to play this. I am going to go with the Nami Searcher, and I can go with the 5-cost Rush Luffy or the Gear 5 skip your opponent's turn Luffy. I end up going with the Gear 5 Luffy, but I really don't think it would make much of a difference. Let's see, and you can let me know. They're able to block out of my first swing with Eustace Captain Kid. Now I'm going 12 with Gear 5 Luffy. Let's hope it's not a trigger. No trigger. Now we've got Shanks. They're going to take that. They did get the 200 million Voltamaru, and so they got to add a card to the top of their deck, or a card to their life. Not ideal. I'm at 7 right now. Really all I need to go is just 9 and I'll get this hit off, but then I have to decide if that... Well, no, I'm going to go with the Gear 5 Luffy, but I think the Rush Luffy would have also done the trick here. I could have just played it out, went big, and that's game. GG's. What do you think about me not swinging with the Gear 5 Luffy for so long? Would you consider that a misplay, or would you consider that the right play to make? I'd love to hear your feedback, because the Kingdom Come, aka Raigo, really hurts, you know? And so I wanted to make sure I was getting value out of it. Next game, we have Green Purple Doflamingo. A really cool leader. I never really got the hang of playing with it, but I think it's always a fun leader to go against, regardless of what deck I'm running. I choose to go second. I end up mulliganing my first hand, and I don't have any early turn plays to do. We don't see a Nami, we don't see a Franosuke for a Zorojoro for next turn, pardon me. So I just kind of have to pass. Them getting down a sugar right away is not a deal. I'm debating on whether or not to take this, and I do take it just to get maybe another card out of life, a resource, and I actually get the Gum Gum Jet Gatling trigger, which lets me ramp it on, and then I'm able to play Miss All Sunday, which lets me ramp it down again. So now my ramp is crazy right now. I'm going to be at 8 Don next turn. With leader ability, I'll be at 9. And so on turn 3, I'll be able to play Whitebeard, which is absolutely absurd. When this deck hits like this, it's just amazing, you know? When you're able to ramp really fast and just beat your opponent to a really big character, it really makes a difference. Ramping with leader, and then I'm going to swing 5 with Miss All Sunday. I'm swinging first because if I played the Whitebeard first, they could have rested the Miss All Sunday and prevented it from attacking. And now it feels bad to swing 8,000 into a 0. But I also feel like I'm going to use this opportunity just to get cards out of hand, or a card or a life card. Now next turn I will be able to use Whitebeard's effect to KO the sugar before I play anything on the board, and so that's why I also kind of ignore it, which I definitely think is the right play. They're going to go Baby 5 and search with it. They draw the Diamante and play it out. 5 into Miss All Sunday. I think I'm going to block with the counter with the Queen here. I might go Law, 4-cost blocker Law from starter deck 10 and trash 2 cards from their hand. Before I do that though, I think I'm going to go 12 into life, KOing the sugar. They are going to counter out of this one, it seems, which I did not expect them to do. That must have been a mistake. I can't imagine they're going to want to drop that many cards. But maybe they see the blocker Law coming. Oh, so they used an event. The off-white event card. I'm not super familiar with this one, but alas, they were able to. They still got hit, but they were able to draw the sugar. So I don't know. I'm not sure if that was the right play or what, but now I'm able to just still play blocker Law, and I get rid of the Spider's Web and Don Quixote Doflamingo 10 drop. That is absolutely brutal for them. I really feel like I'm in control of this game right now. I think I'm going to go 7 at lead. They're going to have to give me 2 cards or block it. And they go down to 0 life. They get the Punk Gibson trigger, resting my Law. Still not worried about it. I swing big at them for 9, and they block out of it, and I KO their Diamante, and they just quit. GG's, that was a tough one. Not really much you can do, especially when your opponent's playing Whitebeard on turn 3. You just kind of gotta pray, you know. And unless you run maybe blue, where you can just hit them with a red rock early, you know. But it's tough. Next game up is Green Yellow Yamato. They're going to start off by swinging 8k into life. I have the Thunder Bagua to counter out of it. And I also had plenty of 2ks if I wanted to do that too. I'm going to go 7 into lead. They get the Okiku trigger. Absolutely brutal. And I'm going to play out the Zoro Joro and pass. This Okiku will be able to swing into my life without any Dawn investment. They're going to go 8,000 Banish with the Onami. Swinging with lead. I counter out of that. I get rid of so many cards out of hand. And now I just have to take this Okiku swing. And I get the Thunder Bagua. I could use the trigger, but I decide I really need it for defense, so I do not use it. I almost go Miss All Sunday first, but that would be a mistake, as if they get a trigger, it would be able to, if it was an Onami trigger, for example, it would be able to kill it. That was still kind of out of order. I should have swung with lead before I played the Miss All Wednesday, but I bet I was also thinking that maybe I should swing into the Okiku just to get rid of it. They play the Shirahoshi blocker, 2-drop, swing 6k into lead with Okiku. I take it. I get the 5-cost Rush Luffy. I have a lot of counter in hand, but of course I'm not super excited about potentially using it. And they play out an Okiku again. So I'm facing a pretty big board here. I'm going to go 5 into life. They counter out of that. I would like to play Whitebeard here, but then I can't play the Thunder Bagua, and I feel like I really need that on the defensive. So what do you think I should do? Should I go Whitebeard or should I go Eustace Captain Kid? Eustace Captain Kid gets me to a 7,000 leader. Whitebeard gets me to 8,000. But with Eustace Captain Kid, I can use the Thunder Bagua. I go with the Eustace Captain Kid. I have 2 down to work with, and so I'm going to be able to swing big. I leave 1 open for the Radical Beam from life, and I'm just going to go 8 into lead, and they block it. I really don't want to swing into their Okikus just for them to get life and then get more triggers out of life. They play the Hody Jones, 7-drop. This card is great. They're going to take a life. And here I'm expecting them to go for game. They play out their down a little bit before they swing, which is never ideal. You don't want to kind of signal to your opponent what you're planning to do. And they go 10k into the Eustace Captain Kid with the Hody Jones, which I am super surprised about. I can't believe they did that, actually. I use my Thunder Bagua to get out of the Hody Jones swing, and I top deck the Gear 5 Luffy, or I got that from life. And so now I'm feeling pretty decent. I'm surprised they did not go for game there. I'm not going to do the math, but I feel like they would have had it if they wanted to. I'm going to go Gear 5 Luffy here. It's possible that the 5 cost would have been sufficient too. And I'm going to swing 7 into lead. Can they counter this? They are able to counter it, but now they have no cards in hand. They are going to have to pray that this trigger is something good. I feel like I did get pretty lucky here because they should have went for game. Or maybe they wouldn't have been able to with the swings they had. 7, 7, and 10 would not have gotten it done, so I guess it doesn't matter. They did the right thing. But Gear 5 Luffy, when you get it at the right time in the right place, it's just OP. Red Purple Law, a battle of the starter deck 10 leaders. I go second. I am going to play the Nami and take a Radical Beam. This matchup really, I don't want to speak too soon, but this matchup really doesn't feel terrible into Red Purple Law because they need to, for the most part, use Dawn to get to 6,000 to swing to you, and they often don't have a ton of Dawn to spare. I get the Miss All Sunday trigger, which is pretty broken on turn 2 to have it out. So that's great news. I'm going to go 5 with Miss All Sunday. They take, no trigger, and then I'm going to go 5 with Nami. Let's see if they take. Imagine they're going to want to counter out. they take again. Their hand must be bricked up, or they've just got a secret plan. They accidentally counter with the Reiju. I'm not sure if they meant to counter another card as well, or if they thought Reiju was 2k, or what happened, but alas, that's what they do. They play Eustace Captain Kid. They bottom deck Nami and then play out Shachi and Penguin, and then they're going to swing in Miss All Sunday, which I will protect. I'm really applying the pressure here. I see no reason to slow down. I could have played the 5-drop Rush Luffy, but I am waiting for that to be my kill strike card. So they actually concede here. They wouldn't have enough to have blocked out of this next attack. They would have, or counter out, they would have had to block. But next turn it's over anyway. They don't have a ton of Don. They could have played out their Zoros, but that's just a bricked hand. So GG's. Wow, that was a quick one. Finally, we got Blurple Croc. I go first. I'm playing Nami, and I'm going to go with Radical Beam. This is a little bit of a trigger warning. This game is frustrating. I really can't believe the hands I get during this game. I'm going to play another Nami. I'm looking for a Zoro or something, or a Luffy. I have to take the Gum Gum Jet Gatling, and now I'm just going to swing 8 into lead. Already, my hand is pretty crazy. I have 3 counter events. I have a 2k, and then I have a blocker queen. That is not a very aggressive hand at all. I'm debating out of countering out of this. I do counter out of with the queen. I think that may have been a mistake. I should have just taken the life and see what I could have gotten. I'm debating on the order to do this. I'd swing first with Luffy, just in case they had a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger or something that would be able to bottom deck my Miss All Sunday, and then I play out the Miss All Sunday. Hopefully I top deck a big card, a top end card to use, like Eustace Captain Kid or Whitebeard. They're going to play Mr. 1 Daz Bones. That's not a character card I'm super familiar with, but now I am. I gotta be careful not to sleep on it because it'll end up hurting me. I take the hit, I get the Franosuke, another 2k, but not a decent body to play on board. I'm going to go 5 with Miss All Sunday. Now it's time for Whitebeard. I get lucky with that top deck and swing 8 into lead. They are going to counter out of this one. They are down to 5 cards in hand. I've got 7, and it's a crazy defensive wall. I've got 2 Rad Beams, 2 Gum Gum Jet Gatlings, and 3 2Ks. I don't think I've ever had a hand this secure before in terms of counter power. They're going to play the Gravity Blade Raging Tiger to get rid of Nami and Miss All Wednesday. That's fine with me. Or Miss All Sunday, pardon me. I'm going to go 12 with the Edward Newgate and KO the Miss All Sunday. They're going to draw the Gravity Blade Raging Tiger from the trash using her effect. I'm going to play out the Trafalgar Law, make them trash 2 cards. And then I'm actually going to swing 6 with the Nami. Let's see what they give me here. They're able to counter out of this one. And then I'm going to go 6 with lead. Now, I don't really need to keep 1 Don up, but I just feel like I might as well to be safe. You never know what they might play. I really feel like I'm in a pretty
secure position right now. I say that, and then they red rock my Whitebeard, the only top end I have, and so that is very unfortunate. And as you can see, that Mr. One Dad's Bones is powering up with every event they use. They're going to swing to get my Nami off the board, and then they're going to go 8 into life. I will Radical Beam out of this, I think. I get the Zoro Joro. This is absolutely maddening. I don't have any rush cards to use. Oh, I do have a rush card to use, actually. I'm thinking about playing out Frankie, believe it or not. One of the first times I've ever played out a Frankie, but I really kind of need to apply some pressure. I'm just going to go 9 at lead. Unless they have some big time counter in hand. I imagine they take this, but they do. They do have the counter to get out of it using a Love Beam and a Mr. Tube on Clay. Then I'm actually going to play Franosuke and swing for 5 at leader. That is... it feels trollish to do that. But they actually take it. I wonder if their hand is bricked up or they just have a plan. I'll leave Wonton up for a Radical Beam. Not really worried about anything right now. 5 at Franosuke. I'm going to counter out of this, or at least I think I should. I'm going to need the body to swing this upcoming turn. If they play a blocker or something. I wouldn't be surprised if they Gravity Blade Raging Tigered my board. I decided to let the 8,000 attack hit. I could have gotten out of that. Maybe I should have, but in hindsight, I feel like I should have countered out of it. I have plenty of cards in hand, but maybe not. Let me know what you think in chat. I still do not have any top end or any rush cards. The Gear 5 Luffy, where are you? I absolutely need you right now. This is what I was talking about when I said this match was going to be a little infuriating, and why I had to warn you ahead of time. I'm going to go 5 down on lead and swing 11 into their Mr. One Dad's Bones. That is now powered up to 8,000. And they are going to counter out of this, it looks like. So now I'm feeling like the game has shifted a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I'm not worried about losing, but their board compared to my board is definitely, I think, probably a little stronger. I do have plenty of counter in hand. I have the 2 Donna. I could use a Radical Beam. I could use the Thunder Bagua. They're going to give 1 down to their leader and use Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. You gotta be kidding me. I cannot get a big body on board. And they're going to go 6. I decide to counter this because I'll probably let the Crocodile hit, or I let the Mr. 1 hit go through, but I'll probably counter out of this one. I go with the Radical Beam. And now I get the Rush Monkey D. Luffy. If I can get this one to hit, I might win off this next play. I'll go Unblockable Luffy, even though they don't have any blockers, so I guess that's redundant. But I'm going to go 8,000 here. And then I'll be able to go 13,000 next. They use Purple Crocodile's effect to trash Kaido and draw 1. That hit is going to go through. Do they have a trigger? Moment of truth. I don't think it really matters. They have the Hell's Judgment, which makes me return a Don, but I can just use the Don I already used. Sheer is such a misplay. I should have just donned up. I realized that actually, so I'm lucky. I realized I didn't use leader ability. I still think this is a misplay, and I should have just gone all in. I do keep 2 up for the Thunder Bagua. But yeah, that was so infuriating how long it took me to get a proper rush card, and the only top end I saw was the 9-drop Whitebeard.
Those are the games I got for you today, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you saw any misplays. Let me know what changes you think I should make to this deck list. We've only got about 2 weeks until OPO7 releases in the East, so there's not much time left with this deck in this format, but I'm certainly going to be playing it in OPO7 as well. So if you like this leader, subscribe and check out the upcoming videos. Peace!